Hello and welcome back to the classes by Mrs. Monisha Nathpal. We are back again with the topic proportion. In the last video, we had studied about ratio. So, proportion is linked with ratio. If we consider two ratios, A is to B and C is to D, where we can see that the two ratios are equal, then we say that the two ratios are in proportion. That is, A, B, C, D are the four quantities that are in proportion. So, the equality of two ratios is called proportion. The symbol that we used for proportion is this, that is the double colon sign. This is read as is as. This is referred to as is as. So, how do we read this statement? A is to B is as C is to D. We already know that in the ratio, the colon mark represents is to, and the sign of proportionality, that is the double colon mark, this refers to is as. So, the four quantities, that is A, B, C, D, are four quantities. If they are said to be in proportion, it implies that A is to B is as C is to D, which means A by B is equal to C by D. From where did this come? That is A is to B is equal to C is to D. So, A is to B means A by B and C is to D means C by D. So, if we apply the cross multiplication process, it becomes AD is equal to BC. Okay. So, if four quantities are in proportion, then we get AD is equal to BC. Conversely, if AD is equal to BC, then we can say that A, B, C, D are in proportion. This is the cross product rule. This is known as the cross product rule. That is, in the four quantities, these two quantities, that is A and D, these two are the end terms. All these four are called terms of the proportion. These two end quantities, they are called the extreme terms or extremes. And these two that are in the middle, they are called the means or middle terms. So, these two extreme terms are called extremes and these two middle terms are called means. So, if you look at this, then what can we see? That is, if four quantities are in proportion, then the product of the two extremes, that is A into D, is equal to the product of the mean terms or the means, that is B into C. This is called the cross product rule. This is called the cross product rule. Okay, that is the product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. Now, if we see that AD is not equal to BC, that means we can say from here that is A, B, C, D are not in proportion. They are not in proportion. So, if AD is equal to BC, we can say A, B, C, D are in proportion. And if AD is not equal to BC, then we can say A, B, C, D are not in proportion. So, this is a test for proportionality. If you are given four quantities, say 2, 5, 20, 50, and you are asked to check whether these four quantities are in proportion or not, you can see, check for these two terms, 2 into 50, that is 100, and check for the product of these two terms, 5 into 20, that is 100, that is 100. So, we can see that the product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. So, we can say yes, 2, 5, 20 and 50 are in proportion. An alternate method also you can do. Find out the ratio of the first two terms, that is 2:5 for the first two, and for the last two, 20:50 is again 2:5. So, you can see that we get the same values of the two ratios in the simplest form. Thus, we can say, since the two ratios are same, the four quantities are in proportion. All right. Also remember, if the four quantities A, B, C and D are in proportion, then this term D, the last term, it is called the fourth proportional. It is called the fourth proportional. In the proportionality, like in ratio we had studied that if we have the ratio of two terms, the two terms A and B, they should belong to the same kind and having same units. But in proportion, we don't have such a mandate rule that all the four of them should be of the same kind and same units. Here in this case, the first two terms, they should be in the same kind and having the same units, and here the second, the third and the fourth should be of the same kind and having the same units. Why? Because A, B, C, D, when they are said to be in proportion, the first two terms, they make a ratio, and here these two terms make another ratio. So since they are forming a ratio, they should be of the same kind, and they are forming a separate ratio, they should be of the same kind. All right. Now for an example, rupees 6, rupees 8, and say 24 pence and 32 pence. Okay, if we find whether these four terms are in proportion or not, you see rupees 6 is to rupees 8. If you find the ratio, this becomes 6 by 8, that is 3 is to 4. And for these two, so here also you see it is cancelled with 8, 8 3s are and 8 4s are. So this is also 3 is to 4. So we can see the terms, the first two terms here and the third and fourth term here, they give you the same ratios. Thus we can say these four terms are in proportion, though all the four of them are not in the same unit, or they are not of the same kind. So it is mandatory for the first two and for the last two to be of the same kind and same unit. All right. Now coming to continued proportion. Here we deal with three quantities A, B, C. Now what is continued proportion? The word continued, it will give you a hint that there is a continuation of something. So what is it? If we have the ratio of the first and the second term equal to the ratio of second and third term, so you can see the B is continued, then such a kind of proportion is called continued proportion. And what is the cross product rule here? Here you see AC is equal to B square. So in a continued proportion, we have three terms involved. This is the first proportional, this is the third proportional, and B is called the mean proportional. Okay, so here B is repeated. All right, like there in the normal proportion which we have studied just now, there we saw there were four different terms. All right, so here we have B, which is taking part in both the ratios. In one place it is acting as the consequent, and the other place it is acting as the antecedent. Okay. So here this is AC is equal to B square, and remember B is called the mean proportional between A and C. Okay. So for continued proportion, there are three quantities involved. A by B is equal to B by C, where the B is repeated one or the continued one. B is called the mean proportional, whereas the first one is called the first proportional and the third one is called the third proportional. So remember, following the cross product rule, product of means is equal to product of extremes. So these two, that is A is to B, is as B is to C. So following the cross product rule, these two are the extreme terms or extremes, whereas these two, they are the mean terms. So product of means is B into B is equal to A into C, which is B square is equal to AC. Yes. Okay, how this one comes is using the cross product rule, that is B square is equal to AC. So this was continued proportion. So this was all about proportion. Shall meet you in the next class with sums based on this. Till then, keep watching. If you like the videos, please do like the channel. Please comment your feedback. They are most welcome. And don't forget to subscribe the channel so that I get the energy to come up with more of videos. And of course, remember, if you like, make sure you share the videos with your friends. If you miss out any links of the previous lesson, that is ratio, if you have missed out, then the links of ratio will be mentioned in the description box. Till then, see you very soon in the next video. Till then,